A master student in bioinformatics. Joined like last fall. I attended, there was a Chennai send off event, and I guess around 25 to 30 people attended. So I guess it was very useful to get to know some of the people before coming here.
I'm a PhD second year in material science and engineering. So I'm from Yamuna in Haryana.
So I see you've got that India flag at the back. Love it.
Oh yeah, it's the property of ISA.
But the situation in Michigan is not great. How
Yeah,
it shows up.
So at least off late last few days they have like reported there have been a lot of cases, especially in the Detroit area.
That they are testing, are they all free kits, or do you have to pay for it, or how does it work?
Yeah, in the university, I think it's like you go to the university health department and they check for the symptoms and it's all free.
When have you all been in a lockdown? Like, just at home, quarantine?
It's almost, officially it's almost 1.5 weeks.
So I think a lot of undergraduates came back, right?
Yeah, so I know a lot of undergraduates who actually had gone home for spring break and they never came back.
How do you feel taking this decision of staying back now and not leaving at that point in time?
But yeah, for us, it's like, I don't know, going back to India didn't seem like the best thing to do. But
why?
I think there are many problems with that, because if you go back to India, you never know when you'll come back.
Because they had,
for example,
it was all very volatile. They weren't sure if they're going to like let us back in.
So how many graduate students have stayed back versus who've left?
I think the majority is still here. The ones who left, they are mostly from the first year, whose internships got cancelled, and probably maybe the next semester it might also get virtual.
They're still continuing with classes, and they have been quite streamlined. Like so far, I've not faced any major issue. They've been able to continue as any normal class. So I still have all my assignments, and just that it's become a little difficult to keep attentive during the class, especially when it's online. Because it's like a different experience when you're me at home. You'll be having lunch, and then suddenly you'll have to log in. So it's like
I'm currently here in Mumbai and in my home, thankfully.
Okay.
So I'll tell you. So I graduated out of University of Michigan in 2003 as an undergraduate.
Awesome.
So way back, if you think about it. And I did a double major. So I did computer science and economics.
Okay.
Actually a part of engineering first, and then they moved computer science to LSNA, and so I figured that why not kind of move and do both. So my first, so I actually transferred from University of Illinois after my first year to Michigan. So where are you all staying? Are you staying in the apartments closer to North Campus?
Yep, we are in the north. I mean, it's Parkmate Apartments, if you know. It's
like 10 minutes walk from Berkeley.
But maybe getting from you guys, what did you think? Maybe you all both have differences in terms of what's like opinions, of course, of what you're expected out of Michigan and how's it been.
So for me, so I got an admit, and we haven't assigned a professor. They said you have to come here and then look for professors, work with someone for 3 months-ish, and then figure out who you want to work with, like for the next 4 years. So I looked at the website in general. I found that it's quite strong in the nuclear material science side and microscopy in material science, which I was quite interested in. And then I came here, I talked to a couple of professors, and it was really nice, like way much better than I expected. And then I'm working with one of those professors. My research area is in nuclear materials, and the facilities in general, the infrastructure, it's so good. I mean,
it's incredible, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
I think for me, I could get an on-campus job, and as an undergraduate, getting an on-campus job.
There were like at least when we are here, I think there's not a lot of opportunity. At least I felt like there was too much of work to do, so that we don't really have time to really go anywhere outside Michigan. But otherwise, during the semester, they didn't see that there wasn't much to actually do other than coursework, and there was a lot of things going on. So
Anand, you were actually telling me what you were studying. So what was your major area that you're studying, and what classes
so
are you?
My master's is in bioinformatics, and it's also known as computational biology. So it's essentially, it's like an interdisciplinary field now where you're applying computer science methodologies and other like data science techniques to solve biomedical questions, specifically like when it can either be like something to do with genomic sequencing analysis, or it can be something to do with imaging, medical image analysis. Uh, so it was something which was I was always very interested in. So as you said that you had done a dual major in economics and computer science, right? So I've also done a dual major in biology and computer science from BITS Pilani, Hyderabad campus.
Oh, that's incredible.
So it's like so after that I always had an interest. I wanted to see if I could combine my what I've learned in biology and computer science in some way. Uh, so I felt this was like the next step, and I just wanted to continue with that. Um, so it's been quite good, I would say. So far I've got what I expected. The at least it has been challenging, like at least the coursework and stuff. I didn't expect it to be like this. I thought it'll be okay, it won't be as difficult, but I see some of the courses are actually challenging.
So I'm also the current vice president at the University, India Alumni Association. The alumni, so the purpose of the club, or the purpose for the association, is so that we can bring alumni together and connect them across India, and then allow the school to also connect with the alumni. If students are stuck, or if any issues are happening, we're always there to support, right? So like, moving forward, we also have an idea that we want to do or create a scholarship fund for students, who are going from here. So our purpose is very multifunctional, focused on helping those who are from Michigan. So, and of course, the send-off is an offshoot of doing something like that. Is simply we do that, every year. The idea is so that you can, make sure that the ones who are actually going to Michigan engage with the alumni community, and they know what to expect. Especially a lot of the parents are also very anxious, if not just the students. That maybe come June we could do a send-off. But my bigger worry, Anshul, is the fact that I don't think the US is going to open up. That I feel is the bigger worry. So, and I think that that's the biggest worry for all the students right now who are considering, should I go to the US right now or no? Because I'm going to invest that time, effort, energy, pay a deposit. So should I even defer my decision right now? Because what if the semester doesn't start? I mean, do I defer it to the spring semester? What do I do? Because those questions are really big and huge.
So when I'm at the International Center, they are willing to extend this help. So they said they can have experts guiding the newly admitted students on various things, like in general the program, in general the visa questions, how to apply, the do and don'ts, etc., etc. So I think we can also look for help from International Center on this.
We should, as a matter of fact. The only thing is, one thing which I am a little bit wary about is that the International Center is never going to tell you that this is how you should answer the immigration official.
I see.
So the other thing is that, and they might not participate in what we have to say. So of course, if I'm going to tell an Indian student one very simple thing,
that makes sense.
You have to tell them, that I'm going to go back to India, because so there's a lot of these things that the International Center is going to tell you, right? So we have to be also very cognizant of the fact that they won't participate in a discussion like that, because then that's privy to their privacy policy, and they cannot say something like that or be a part of a conversation like that. So we have to also understand the kind of things that we can resolve with them. So let them do their stuff, right?
Sure.
But at the background, we know what we've been through personally, and the things that we will have to actually, try to tell, most of the students who are actually going for the visa process is, and I think that it's very important that everyone, even from the smallest town who's applied and is thinking of coming, they need to understand this, that, get all your documents in place. Your first year support letters have to be in place, your bank statements, whatever, get a loan if you have to, but get everything in place before you go for the appointment.
Yeah.
Right? Because the one thing that you can reassure them of is that that once you come here, even if you don't have a GA-ship, you could still get a lot of things done, right? Once you're on campus, right? It's possible, right? I mean, Anshul, Anand, I think that it's always possible to get an on-campus job, to get some other things done, so that.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you also need to reassure them. Okay, if you haven't got it and you're banking on getting some aid, why don't you all have some more aid, that you can provide to them, some documentation, more of that, so that we can help them out before they come. what we can improve on is give them that real on-ground experience that you went through. And I would suggest that everyone that you have, Anshul, maybe make a format and let every person from every department build a short video. He can talk about his individual experience of how he went about once he came here to get some more aid. How did he get an on-campus job? I think let's get some of those simple experiences captured, and that'll really help, because those are real stories that people want to listen to.
I think it's useful, but I think I'm skeptical in terms of like approaching the professors and all, because even for us, it's difficult to know who has funding and who's looking for active master student.
Yeah, I get it.
So,
but the fact is that you have to talk about the differentiating factor means you must have done something to really find that out and narrow that search, right? So how do people do that?
I see. So basically, you're talking about the methodology, like just apping the professors and go and talk to them.
And help all of those coming in as much as we can, not compete with each other, rather actually give them all the resources possible so that they can get as much information so that they're also on the top of the game.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think at least that much we can do.
So tell me more about the situation on ground. You must be having friends in other cities also. How is everyone going through this right now?
So first thing, everyone's home. Second, it's depressing for sure.
So yeah, so at least right. So the thing is, some of us, like, I don't know how it is for everyone, but I think now grocery shopping has come to a bit of a hit now. I think now this week, so not a lot of people want to go out to the shop, and I think the people don't want to use the public transport as much, just to make sure it's not as safe, right? So it's been like 1 week I'm waiting for groceries, but I guess for a lot of people it's even worse than that. But at least like this is one thing which I faced recently. They're not enforcing the national lockdown. So I guess it's because of the way the government is structured. They don't want to give like a national order. They want to keep it at state level. From what I experienced, so I didn't go off late, but when I went to the grocery store 1 or 2 weeks ago, right, I didn't see any sort of difference. It was just as normal. People were not even worried, or there were a few people here and there who were wearing masks and gloves, but it wasn't enforced, or no one was really paying much attention to it.
Okay, what about you, Anshul? When did you go last out?
So I go daily. I go daily for biking. I do see a lot of people there, so it's the parks are quite full. I mean, not as much, but they're still like I do see maybe 30-40 people at one point of time. But the last time when I went to the grocery store, I don't think that there was any kind of social distance at all, because there were a lot of people and they were just like next to each other in a queue. So, and not many masks. Even I don't wear masks because I don't have one.
Why don't you contact the International Center? By the way, I'll tell you this why, and I will also speak to Gayatri and Yunja for this. Is because we alumni have started putting in money and donating money, because they have this website where you can donate for all of this. But we would rather do that for the Indian students and make sure that they are fine. And I don't mind people, because we are donating money. I myself have put money into it. I would rather have it sent to you guys, so that you all have access to all of these things. I would want you guys to at least have masks and gloves and whatever else it is.
So usually, and in the summers, like how does the insurance go for master students?
So I'm not sure. So I got like this yearly intern, like whatever UMich thing. So the plan is a bit different. So I don't know if you know. So thing is, I was born in US. And I moved to India when I was 4 years old. So I have not faced the issue which a lot of people here are facing. At least I don't know how the Indian students are facing it, but because I have something called this student insurance plan or something. So you can like buy it for it's the same thing. I think I don't think there's any difference. It's the same Blue Cross, whatever. I think we have this. So it's able to get it for like 1 year. So I think it should be covered for summer also.
It was nice talking to you, Dhaval. Thanks for the webinar.
Thanks a lot.
All right, great. Thanks, guys.